You're welcome back to the morning show here on Rice News. All is set for the 19th edition of the Africa Movie Academy Awards, which is taking place at the Barmura Convention Center inside Sheraton Hotel in Ikeja, Lagos. The edition of this prestigious Continental Awards ceremony with the theme Legacy in Motion will showcase excellence in 26 categories, celebrating outstanding achievements in African cinema. Joining us on the show this morning to discuss his nomination at the AMAA is famous Asian actor and producer Jimmy Jean-Louis. Good morning, Jimmy.
Good morning.
You're a friend of the house. You're welcome to the studio.
Yes, indeed. I feel home when I'm in Nigeria. Yes, indeed.
Absolutely. To add the ambassador at large.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. So Jimmy is the 19th edition of AMAA Awards this evening. You are nominated.
Yeah.
But I know that in 2020, it was the COVID year, you won Best Actor, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Actually, I won for a movie called Derans.
Yeah.
So which is the first win, because we won in the past for previous movies such as Toussaint Louverture or even Wild Old Snakes.
Yeah.
So I'm very comfy being here with AMAA and with in Nigeria.
Absolutely. All right. So tell us, how did your journey with the AMAA and to an extent with Peace Ayamusigwe, who sadly won't be here with us while celebrating AMAA. How did it start? And how did your collaboration, your interaction with Nollywood, how did it begin?
The very beginning was back in 2006 when I came to Nigeria to premiere a movie called Fat Girls. So we did a premiere in Lagos and in Abuja, and that's when I discovered that every street corners of Lagos had DVDs. So I started to be interested in what on that world, because for me it was very new, coming from Hollywood. Things were not done that way. So I was trying to understand who was behind those movies and what kind of market did Nigeria have for those movies. And that's when I met up with some of the iconic filmmakers, such as Kunle Afolayan and some other ones. And we started to collaborate, very early on, 2007, 2008. And then I met with my dear Peace around 2008, I believe. So I came to some of those, some of those awards at the very beginning. And then Peace asked me to be the master of ceremony of the AMAA in 2012, I believe. For which I was extremely proud to do, but at the same time, it definitely put me in a place where my connections started to be very strong with the Nigerian filmmakers and the African filmmakers around the continent. So it's been a great collaboration. Fully enjoyed hosting the AMAA, and then I came back, of course, for various years, and here I am again, and this year it was special. It is special, I did get a nice phone call from Peace's brother, from Raymond, asking if I could, personally physically be here, because, obviously we know that Peace is no longer with us, and I really wanted to honor that, and Peace was a great brain, a love of, she had a great love for the arts. She knew what she was talking about. She had a specific vision for cinema, and what she started is huge. I'm not sure people understand and realize, what Peace has done, and the brand that she has started, and I hope that her legacy and the brand will continue for many years to come. Absolutely. Not just by the Nigerians, but it should be embraced by the entire of Africa, because it is the African Movie Academy Awards, which celebrates, talents from all over the continent.
Great.
Thank you for honoring that invitation and being here, because we wouldn't have you in our studio today if it wasn't for that. Well, as someone who has a very rich multicultural backgrounds. How do you see the exchange of cinematic ideas and collaborations between, of course, Nigeria, Africa as a continent, and other continents in narrating, the global film narrative?
Yeah.
Are there specific cross-cultural projects that you've been involved that you believe has contributed to this dialogue, one? And secondly, how do you envision the future of, African cinema within this changing landscape? We're seeing a significant shift in recent years from streaming platforms to international collaborations. Are there any trends or developments that you find particularly interesting, promising for the industry?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. As far as collaboration, I've been collaborated with some of those filmmakers here. Some of those movies that I've done, whether it's The CEO or even Citation with Kulne, it was a way to actually unite some of the African talents. Because, for example, the same for CEO or Citation, we had talents from all over Africa, and we shot in multiple places as well. So it's one of those ways that we can actually grow and invite collaboration. I've collaborated in many Nollywood/Hollywood projects as well, shot here and shot in the United States. As far as the growth of Nollywood, as I said, I came here in 2006, which was pretty much the beginning of Nollywood. And I've seen the change in many ways. First it was, of course, a lot of movies. It was all about quantity. And now we're starting to see quality. And the minute you have international distribution interested in your product, that means there is something interesting in your product. So it's like, okay, so first of all, how do we welcome them and how do we protect what we have and how do we keep it in the house? The arrival of Netflix, Amazon, and all those giants speak loud, because now a Nigerian project can be shot in Ife or in Bayelsa and have world visibility. With that, you can also use that as a tool to educate people about Nigeria and about the continent. Africa is one of the few continents that has not been exploited yet when it comes to cinema. We don't know about our kings and queens and culture and traditions and none of that. So there's room to grow, and I don't know if we know it as much as they know it. We are in the world of digital where every single person has access to a phone, meaning by that have access to content. We have 1.4 billion Africans in Africa. It's a huge number compared to the 200,000 in America. So when you do the math, you realize that Africa is so important, and the business will only continue to grow. Now we have to be careful. We have to protect it as well, because we don't want people to come from abroad and take it from us, in front of us.
So I love that you say Africa is so important. And listening to you speak so glowingly about peace and the work that she's done, it's very inspiring. And the fact that you are Haitian, and this is a huge conversation to have in terms of how much you can contribute to a continent with your influence. And, you've been coming back here for since 2006, how many years? You've done a ton of movies, which will bring me back to why you are here, your nomination here. What is it that inspires you so much to keep coming back to do these films, besides the fact that, we need to tell our stories? Why Nigeria to start with? And what inspires you to just keep coming back?
Well, it's a few things, on a personal level and maybe selfish level is a quest of identity. You have to understand that when you're a black person, you're not living in your territory, there's something wrong about that. Because you're adapting, regardless on where you are. Whether it's in the Caribbean, America, England, wherever you are adapting to a place that does not belong to you. So that quest for me is very deep, and it's like, how do I reach back to my roots? You know, who am I? Where do I come from? And which led me obviously back to Africa. And coming from Haiti, I do have some strong connections with this part of Africa, you know, whether it's Nigeria, Cameroon, Sierra Leone, Benin, you know, because, you know, my people, unfortunately, were taken from this part of the world a few years ago. So the first quest was trying to really understand who I am, you know, really back to my own identity. And once I was completely at peace with who I was, then it was just easier to understand that I belong here, I belong in Africa, and if I need to grow, if I can grow, if I have any message, it will be for my people first. So that's what inspired me to come back here and to actually realize that Africa will become relevant, and I would like to be part of the growth of African cinema. And you know, I'm laughing because when I first came here in 2006, I went back to Hollywood, and I went to see all my friends, all my colleagues from Nigeria, say, guys, you know, I think you should reach back to Nigeria, because there's something amazing happening there, you know. I mean, the movie industry is huge.
Your colleagues, they're Nigerian?
They're Nigerians.
They're not just
First I went to see them,
and
100% of them looked at me like I was crazy. Like, what are you doing? Why do you want to go back? Now that you're in Hollywood, why do you want to go back to Nollywood to do movies? Are you crazy? I was like, oh, that's how you see it. I'm like, okay, it's fine enough. But, you know, I think now they're all catching up. You know, because now they're all understanding that, you know what, this is where you should be. And if you have talent and you want to share your talent, please come back home and share that talent.
Because your influence is huge here and in Africa. I mean, you're here to receive I'm already praying for you. You're nominated. You're not the
Should I come back tomorrow with the trophy?
So you're nominated for the film Rise, which is a story about a young girl, Joy Bishara, and you played a very I don't even know what to describe that role. You were the head of the Boko Haram, correct? Talk to us about why that movie, what inspired you, and what you think about it. I believe that you made the movie in Ghana as well as the US, those challenges as well. And why not Nigeria? Why wasn't it shot in Nigeria?
Yeah, I mean, the movie Rise is a movie that obviously is about the group of girls that were kidnapped. And based on a true story, we got the testimony from one of them, Joy. So the story is as precise as it can be. And of course, I play the leader of Boko Haram. Someone had to play it. So I said, yes, I can do that. It's an important story, you know. I think it's still a mystery for most people what's happened and what's happening to those girls, you know. And of course, there was a huge campaign back in the days with led by Michelle Obama, Bring Back Our Girls, you know. So now, what happened to those girls, you know? What exactly happened to them and what's happening to them now? So yeah, I was extremely proud to be part of that project. I'm one of the producers as well, and we shot in America, and unfortunately we didn't come here to shoot. We shot in Ghana instead of shooting here in Nigeria.
Why?
Complications, you know, difficulties for some of those simple things that we should have access to that we couldn't, and it just made it easier, unfortunately, to go and shoot in Ghana versus shooting here. It can be complicated to shoot if you don't know the ground. You know, if you're just an outsider, you don't know the ground, you can have a level of complication. So
that's a
the
discussion
agency,
for another
the authorities are listening. But we really have to go, Jimmy. But before we let you go, very quickly, I'm sure that our viewers, and I'm interested too, you know, will be interested in few words, what took you to Hollywood? What kept you there? And how has Hollywood been fair to you?
Hollywood has been interesting, you know. I grew up in Paris, and I lived in various places. Spain, Italy, South Africa, England, and that's before I went. I've been around, so that's why it's very easy for me to feel comfy wherever I am in the world. And when I first started to work in Hollywood, the first movies were, one of them was Derailed with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Next one was Tears of the Sun with Bruce Willis, and then had the chance to work with Harrison Ford, Jennifer Lopez, and a handful of people. And Heroes, of course, on NBC. Fat Girls, with Monique. But I was able to flourish in a place that's supposed to be the center of the world of cinema. When I realized that I had a career, that's when I started to reach back to all those places where I lived. And that's when I planted seeds in all those places. So I constantly work in all those places. On a yearly basis, I do at least one movie per continent.
Oh, fantastic.
Some people might not see them because, it's for a specific market, but I purposely made sure that the past 15 years has been just planting seeds around the world. But I stayed in Hollywood because Hollywood is still the heart of the business. So I stay relevant by being in Hollywood, but I continue to grow my market by exploring other, what they call sub-markets, which some of them are becoming. Yeah, exactly.
Great.
So yeah, that's what it's been. And just one last word, because you did say that people from the government are listening.
Yes.
I think we have to understand that the movie business is a huge business.
Absolutely.
The ecosystem around a movie feeds the entire society. So I'll definitely encourage them to help as much as they can. To welcome productions, to welcome the talents from the country, because if California is the 7th biggest economy in the world, it's not by accident.
That's right.
It's just based on entertainment.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of money, but at the same time, you have to invest.
Yes.
You have to have the proper infrastructure just so you can grow properly. And I think that Nigeria is the country to do that in Africa.
Absolutely.
I know we've talked about visa on arrival. That's one of the biggest problems.
Yeah. We should ease that up. We should
just
really make it easier for people to come.
Fantastic. Jimmy Jean-Louis,
you've
done very well.
Thank you
I'd
very
like
much.
to
I
thank
appreciate
you
it.
for your addition to the African scene, especially to Nollywood. Thank you very much, Jimmy, for all you've done.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Jimmy.
And we wish you good luck tonight.
Yes, thank you. I'll come back tomorrow with the trophy.
We pray that you will rise.
On the rise.
Thank
Good
you
one.
very much.
All right, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Thank you.